Hello and welcome to everyone. Alright, we're going to start a new dev video. And in this video, we're going to discuss Dreamcast Media Center. That's by Josh. And the Amiga Eliminator UAE4all by Chewy. Now, I've made some updates to them. Some might say not improvements. Some might say yes, they are improvements. But let's start on UAE4all. I have fixed the bottom of the screen, the scan rate, and improved. There's less stuttering when it loads games due to the floppy elimination. I can't say words. Elimination was actually set to the wrong speed. So let's get to the footage, and I'll demonstrate as we watch it the things that are improved and the things that ain't. This Dreamcast Media Center will play video clips. It will launch these custom eliminators and return back to them. Alright guys, let's get straight to it. Okay, this is my first 60 frames a second HDMI capture for the Dreamcast. Now we're going to demonstrate to you the unique and cool features of Josh's Dreamcast Media Center. We're going to first show you loading pictures. Now, this is an updated version of his Media Center with some optimizations. As you can see here, it loads 1024 size JPEGs, and you can zoom in, out, around. I'm still zooming in and out right now, then left, right. This can be used for converting a PDF to a manual, so you could have a full screen manual and zoom in and out and read it for games. This is box art of showing you how far I can zoom in and zoom out. This is for your custom Amiga elimination. It's kind of a kit, but you could do this, have as many as you want, right, like that. And we're going to see the movies, and it can play XVID, high bit rate, and also MPEG-2. Now this is a, right here, this is an XVID Amiga video clip demonstration. As we can see here, it's running fine, sound. Now there is a caveat to this, is that you can only play about 6 clips in a row. But if you do load my custom Amiga UAE4all, it will reset the PVR memory and you can load another 6. So this is an MPEG-2. Now the quality of this is not a demonstration of the quality you can get with this player. This is an old VHS capture on YouTube, but it's just one of my favorite all-time commercials for the Amiga, so it has to be included. I always wanted to be like that cool kid there. I've never been a cool kid. Anyways, this demonstration showing playing video clips on your eliminator disc. You could play all sorts of music, including FLAC and MP3 and MP4. Now here's the custom loader and theme. We're going to load the 2 MB edition RC3 DCMC. I'm calling it 3.1 because of the fixes to it. And one of the fixes is not to have menu music. Some people might like that, but I don't, because it actually corrupts the in-game sound engine. Okay, we're going to load the Amiga test kit right now to show you that the 2 meg of extra RAM is actually valid. It's not a party trick. The bottom of the screen now is also, the black bar is smaller, so you see more of the screen. Also, the jumps are in 4x and not 8x, so in some games, but it is mapped to the 8x screen positioning changing in the main menu. So this does enable some games to be playable that weren't playable before, because you can see the bottom of the screen. Now, this works better on Dreamcast eliminators, but this right here is 60 frames a second capture HDMI of a real Dreamcast. As you can see there, 081624. That's how you move the bottom of the screen. We're going to show you system info now. Now the left side of the screen on on Chewie's release is Overscan. So the side of the screen blends on top of the screen when you run system info. I have fixed this. It's not a major fix, but I think it's worth the 3.1 moniker. As you can see here, we'll see the speed, and the speed is equivalent to a proper AMIGA 500. It's a little bit more than AMIGA 500, slightly faster. You see there 2 megabyte of chip RAM, so the RAM is actually valid. Now the speed of the drive, I see it's reading through the drive at the proper speed. 109.625 is actually proper speed. It varies on elimination. Now we're going to load. Let's see, what will he load now? What will he load? What will he load, son? Okay, so we're going to load. I'm looking. Okay, I want to load Smash TV because Smash TV shows you the extra RAM detected and loads the rest of the game into memory so it doesn't keep disk swapping. Now you see the bottom of the screen there. If you go into the main menu and choose 24 or 32, you'll see the bottom of the screen now, which can help in some RPGs and such. I've also sped up the real mouse elimination, not the analog stick elimination, but if you have a real mouse and keyboard, the real mouse elimination should now, well, it does it on elimination because I don't have a real mouse and keyboard at the moment, but I use the eliminated versions on Demule, and now you don't have to pick up your mouse 10 times to move from one side of the screen to the next. Now, whether this translates to real hardware, that's another story, because the Dreamcast is a picky master. So now we're going to show you that super throttle on and off, which speeds up the elimination for loading. Now the super throttle on and off can break games while you're loading them, so you'll have to find out which ones does break and which ones don't, but it can speed up the loading time by about a factor of 5, if I remember in the code, so a factor of 5 to speed up the loading of the game, but it can also break the game. So now we're into the game with the extra memory detected, so now from now on the game will not load. It won't need to continuously reload when you die. On a 1 megabyte machine or 512K machine, that's what happens on this game, and it's very annoying. So, okay, this is actually a great port of Smash TV. Sound effects and gameplay is very good. I managed to get most of the glitches out of the render on the screen there on this particular game because it had quite a few. As you can see here. Now you can change the elimination speed with the throttle, which will speed up the smoothness. You can also take it down from auto frame skip to about 1 or 2 and change the throttle and adjust how you like it. I have it set to maximum auto, so it'll go as much as it needs to attain 50 frames a second, because AMIGA runs at 50 frames a second. Every one of these games is a PAL game. There's not many NTSC games ever made that I know of, but the screen is 60 Hertz NTSC, even though the games are PAL. So you're going to get slight glitches because of this. Alright, now, so what we're going to do now is we're going to load the Simpsons game, one of my favorite games on the Amiga when it came out. Also like Simpsons versus the Space Mutants, not just the world. As you can see here, the stuttering is almost completely gone when it's loading a game, and on this intro it used to stutter quite a bit. Now the stutter's not gone completely in all games, but it is an improvement in some. As you see there, it's just smooth as silk. And when it started loading, the music didn't mess up. So there's the extra memory detected, please wait. This is the main point of this release, is to have the 2 megabyte extra RAM. and the fix for the bottom of the screen, and also the fix for mouse speed elimination. And the custom loader, meaning after you play a game, you can go back to the Dreamcast Media Center and you can load RC1 custom, RC3 custom, which only has 1 megabyte of RAM. Now both the RC1 and RC3 that are custom have 1 megabyte of RAM. The 2 megabyte version is a version by itself. Now games have to load normally like they would on the original Amiga, so if you're someone with no patience, then this is not going to be for you, because load times are actually accurate to how it loaded on the real machine, except when you press super throttle and it speeds it up about 5x. But you do got to realize that sometimes that will break disk loading, because it's sector by sector and it has to actually so we're going to go quickly through this. This game works very, very well, probably as good as the Amiga machine itself. You can adjust it and make it buttery smooth. I'm doing this as a quick demonstration of my first ever 60 frames a second capture. And if you've made it this far into the video, my patrons, thank you. Florin W, I don't know how to say your name correctly yet, and Hampus Linden, and David, thank you David, and Old Man Crutux, yes, thank you, and also Anonymous, and all my other patrons. I will be making a special patron video that shows all the members and thanking every one of you individually, and it'll be going up on Patreon sometime soon when I get my new GoPro 60 frames a second camera, so I can do a proper thing for everyone to see. Right now today I'm feeling a little bit tired, and I've been working on this for about a week, and I want to actually get this release out. There's going to be bugs, there's going to be, you know, your mileage may vary, as they say, but it is a more complete package than the last release, and I like to do things in increments. I don't want you can use this on GDEMU, but you know, you don't have to waste a CDR with it. You can use this image and make your own as a kit using DEmul or Flycast. RC1 now works on Null DC. That was a big request from Cram, and that's how this all started actually, because he was making a nice whole image and testing games and making an original using Chewie's original release. RC1 does load some games that RC3 doesn't. The cores are not the same, and neither is the renderer. Now this right here is RC1. RC1 can be even more buggy sometimes than RC3, but the games it does work, it works very well. Now I'm loading up Amiga Workbench 1.3 here. It's actually loaded the almost forgot to tell you, RC 3.1 will load KickROM 2.0. and RC3 will load KickROM 1.3. Now these are all in the plugin folder, no longer on the root, and you can only load one KickROM. So RC1 loads KickROM 1.3. The only one that loads KickROM 2.0 is RC 3.1 with 2 meg expansion. Okay, so as you see, this is RC1 and it only has the 1 megabyte. So what are we going to try on here? What are we going to try? This is RC1. Now I did try, this is an example of how RC1 sometimes is not as good as RC3, and you'd expect that considering their release candidates apart. But right here I tried to load Rob Hubbard's music. It's one of my favorite demos, and it does not work on this RC1. It works perfect and flawless on RC3 with 2 megabyte expansion. It does not work when you have 1 megabyte. So if you use a 1 megabyte version, this disk does not work. And I find this out right here. So this was a bit of a disappointment for the video, because the way I have to do the video is I have to do the video, capture the video, then record while watching the video, a voiceover back, then I have to put it into a video editing software and match everything up, and then encode that down and then upload it. So it's a pretty all-day process for a 15-minute video. You wouldn't think it's that much work, but the videos are sometimes more work than the coding. Well, I shouldn't say that, but they're both equally quite difficult. So I'm wearing a lot of hats right now, and when you wear a lot of hats, things fall through the cracks, and sometimes things aren't as good as they could be on either side. So I'm trying to wear a lot of hats and do a lot of different things at once. So this should be the best quality you've seen from my YouTube channel, and should spur you into maybe subscribing or sharing or even liking or leaving a comment. My other projects will go forward. This has been at least 2 weeks in a row of this, and I know some of my Patreons probably don't like Commodore or Amiga, but this was requested by a couple of them to get this done. This is a more usable package than has been put out before, and I hope you enjoy it. So thank you all, and thank you all for your support and love, and think about maybe becoming a patron on my channel. And patrons do get to request dev products and updates to not just my projects but other people's projects. This is an update of 2 people's projects in the scene in one. Okay, thank you very much. Keep smiling, and I'll see you in a future video. Farewell.